fairly good reading month. I'm going to talk about 2 books that I finished.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. So for today's video, it is my March wrap up. So we're going to go through all the books that I have read this month in March. I'm this today, so today's the last day of March. But yeah, we've had a fairly good reading month. I'm going to talk about 2 books that I finished last month, but I finished them after my wrap up went up. So I'm just going to really briefly just say what books it was and give you my little views and my rating. So the first one was Blackout by Donnell Clayton, Tiffany Jackson, and another load of authors. I gave this one 4 stars. I listened to an audiobook. If I can speak, it would be very handy. I went to physio this morning, guys, so I'm a little bit sore and achy, but we're good. I'm gonna keep going. So yeah, so this one, Blackout, Donnell Clayton, Tiffany Jackson, I gave 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I loved the way it was written. It was different authors writing different stories, all about the same day, the same blackout. It was really well put together. So yeah, I really did enjoy that one. The second one was Run, Rose, Run, which was by James Patterson and Dolly Parton, which I actually give 3.75. I was actually really let down by this book. There's some good moments and what it's about. But yeah, I was thoroughly disappointed by this one. I did not enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to. So yeah, those were the 2 books that I finished at the end of February, but my wrap up's already gone up. But I did mention my wrap up that I would mention them in this one. So now moving on to the books that I did read this month. So I read Not My Reality by Miranda May. This was an arc, and I gave it 3 stars. This one was just, yeah. There was spice on like every single page. Now, I don't mind a bit of spice, like I don't mind it, but there was a bit too much in this one. It was almost overly used within the book, and it was almost like that was literally all the book relied on was spice, and it was, yeah, a bit too much at times. Yeah, not a fan of that one. I then read The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart, which I gave 4.5 stars to. I freaking loved this book. Freaking loved it. It was very slow to start with, and I was thinking, oh, I'm not going to enjoy this. Like, it's not living up to what I thought it was going to be. But oh my god, it gets so much better. I read this in a video, so I can't remember what video it was that I read it in, but I will leave it linked up above for you guys to check it out. But yeah, this is so good. Tension, the build up, the way it's written was so well done. Highly recommend reading this one if you guys want one to like a little thriller to read. This one, really good, really well written. I then read The Stolen Heir by Holly Black, which I gave 4 stars to. I enjoyed this one more than the trilogy, I will admit that. Not quite as much as I did How the King of El Homeland Takes Stories, but I did enjoy it. But I had very also mixed opinions as I was reading it. Again, this book is in that same video. You see all my thoughts as I go. As I'm reading it, you'll see all my thoughts through. But it was left on such a cliffhanger that now I feel like I need to read the second book to know what happens. But it's like the last, like, I'd say probably 30, 50-ish pages saved the book, really. I'm still not a fan of Holly Black's writing. I'm not. But again, it's just where it's been left on the cliffhanger that I now feel like I need to know what happens. So we will wait and see what I do about the second one in this duology. But yeah, it was good. It was okay. Better than Lost Trilogy, like I said. I then proceeded to read Bunny by Awad. I gave this 2.5 stars. Now, I know so many people love this book, but I didn't. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like the writing. I didn't get what was going on. I was so confused throughout that entire book. The only reason I actually ended up getting through this entire book was because I listened to it on audiobook while I was working in the end. That's the only reason I actually got through this entire book. But yeah, not a fan of Bunny, I must say, not a fan at all. I then listened to Wolf's Pregnant Bride. Again, not a fan. I listened to an audiobook. This is another 2.5. I can't really say much about this one because I didn't have much thoughts on it because I didn't enjoy it. I'll be honest. I then read Wolf Pregnant Bride was Jane B. Knight. I then read Piece of Her Imagination by Kerat Jhaj. I gave that another 2.5. It is a short book, but the way it's written wasn't well written. There's some trigger warnings, check the trigger warnings before you do read it, if you do read this one. But yeah, the way it was done was just, and it was kind of like at the end, the author just threw everything at the book and tried to do a massive U-turn on what was happening, and it just didn't work well, personally, to me. I then read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This was a 3.75. This book and some of the other ones I read in my 24-hour readathon, so that will be linked as well. This book was in there. Like I said, I gave it a 3.75. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the background into Snow and how he became who he was, and him younger age, and like how things in the Hunger Games we knew where they came from. But do I think they overly related the books? Yes. Now, don't get me wrong. I know these are connected. They are. I know it before someone comes for me. But it was overly connected, in my opinion. They would mention things that, like, they would mention, like, the name Katniss in there about something. Right, definitely. The singing they overly used in here. It's just, yeah. It's good. It was alright. I enjoyed reading it. But this would be like, if I had to pick a book to reread, this would be like, well, not up there. This would probably be one of the last ones I would have picked. But yeah, that's where we're at with those. Next ones, I already filmed a little clip on my wrap up for these books because I then proceeded to sell them straight away. So I'm going to insert that here.
So this little clip's obviously a different scene, different day that I'm filming it because obviously I've just finished this vlog. The books I've read for it I didn't enjoy. They're already on Vinted, they've already had interest, so they may be sold by the time I come to film in this video, which is my wrap up obviously. So I'm just very quickly gonna just go through and give you my ratings, because all my views and opinions are over on that vlog, which I will leave linked above, okay? So we're very quickly gonna go through this. So Unbirthday, DNF, Once Upon a Dream, 2-star, A Whole New World, 3-star, Go the Distance, 3.5, As Old as Time, 3.5. So those are my ratings for that series. Obviously, like I said, all my views and opinions will be in the Reading Disney vlog, which I will leave linked for you guys. But yeah, those will hopefully be sold by the time I film this video and will no longer be on my shelves. So
yeah. I then read, guys, I'm in my Mariana Zapata phase. I read The Wolf Winnipeg Me. 5 stars. 5-star rate. Oh my freaking god, I loved it. I love Mariana's writing. I love the slow burn. Like, it's a slow burn book, but you fly through it so fast. It's written that well. Like, it's a chunker. And I read this in the space of like 2-3 days. Like, this is such a good book. I highly recommend reading Mariana's part of writing if you haven't already. I have one of her books on my April TBR. But yeah, I can't. This one was so good. That the dynamics between the characters, and yeah, like for the first 200 pages, you really do. I wouldn't say you hate Aiden, but you do dislike him and the way he acts and stuff. But after those 200 pages, oh my god, does the man redeem himself? He redeems himself, and it's so good. Highly recommend picking this one up. What did I read next? Oh, I then read. I had a reread and a new read. these books will be in a video as well coming up, my reading screen time video. Well, one of them actually, I think. Yeah, one of them will be in that video. But I reread The Things We Never Got Over, and I read for the first time Things We Hide from the Light, both by Lucy Score. I freaking love Lucy Score's writing. I adore it. Both books, 5 stars. You can see all the tabs. How much I love these books. Highly recommend picking up if you haven't picked them up already. They are so good. So this one follows Naomi and Knox. Naomi's twin sister calls her, asking for help, and then proceeds to steal her car and leave her daughter behind for Naomi to look after. This daughter, Naomi didn't even know existed, and Knox is the grumpy small town neighbour. So good. And then this one we follow Knox's brother Nash and Lena, who is one of Knox's old girlfriends from a long time ago, and you see their relationship build. Put these two together, honestly, highly recommend doing them like one after the other because it's so good. You get the full experience and it's just amazing. I can't wait for the third one to come out, which is Lucian and Salone's story. That one's going to be so good. There's going to be so much tension in that one. I can just feel it now. But yeah, highly recommend picking these ones if you haven't. I love them. Like I said, I love Lucy Score's writing. I love the dynamics between all the characters, and you just see all these relationships grow and build. And it's just chef's kiss. It's amazing. I then read The Lying Game by Ruth Ware, which I gave 2.75 stars to. I wasn't a fan of her writing, and I wasn't a fan of the story and where it was going, and it became a bit obvious and who was involved, and yeah, I was not a fan of this one, guys. I will admit. I don't really have much more else to say. I then started reading an ARC book called Summer's End by Kirsty. I ended up DNFing it at 79 pages. I was not hooked in. I was not feeling gripped by it. I just did not have the urge to read this book. I wasn't connecting with the characters. I wasn't connecting with the story at all. So I DNF'd it. I couldn't read anymore. So yeah. And then the last book, I am still technically currently reading it at the moment. I'm filming this, but it will be finished by the end of this today. I can guarantee it. And that is A Passion for Poison by Caroline Lee. So this is a non-fiction based on the serial killer and poisoner Graham Young. So Graham Young is prolific here in England for being a poisoner. So he was sent to Broadmoor at the age of 14. So he was one of the youngest people ever to go to Broadmoor for his crimes, where he was poisoning and experimenting with poisons on his family and a friend. He spends years in Broadmoor. He convinces the authorities and the psychiatric nurses that he's cured, that he's better, he's no longer in that situation where he's going to be a danger to people, gets released, and as soon as of being released, he starts poisoning again, and he commits murders. And I'm now currently at the point where he's poisoning and he has committed a murder and he is still poisoning and has started a diary, which obviously will be now used against him, as we know. But yeah, that's where I'm at. This is really good. If you want a non-fiction and you're into that sort of stuff, I recommend picking this one up. We do hear a lot about poison. Maybe a bit too much. Maybe there's quite a bit about poison bits we don't need to know. There are other bits as well that I think maybe we've gone in a bit detail that we don't need to know. But it's still a good book. I still recommend picking up if you fancy that kind of thing and read it. But yeah, this I know will be a 4-star read for me. I can tell you now because I don't really see my opinion changing in that time because it is a non-fiction. So yeah, I can already tell you that one. But yeah, that is all the books I've read this month. That is how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 books in the month of March. So we've had a good month. I hope you guys have had a good reading month as well. Let me know in the comments how you got on with your March reading and your March goals. Let me know your reading goals for April as well. Let me know where you're going. If you have any recommendations or if any of the books that I've seen that I've mentioned that you like to read or you have read and your thoughts on them. Let me know in the comments. We can have a nice discussion. We can talk. I'm hoping audio is a lot better now that I've got my mic. There is a couple of videos to come out after this. The audio is probably not going to be the best because I had to film them before I got the mic to get them edited and uploaded before I go away on Monday. So yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to keep smiling, be kind, keep reading. Bye guys.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good